Good morning, children. Sairam. Welcome to your History and Political Science class. Children, today we will do revision of History lesson number 1, Historiography, Development in the West. And we will revise all these subtopics, okay? That is tradition of historiography, modern historiography, development of scientific perspective in Europe and historiography, and the notable scholars. We will be just revising in short. Okay. Now, let us learn what is historical research. Children, as you have scientific research, okay, similarly there is historical research too. So historical research, writing and studies are carried out with the objective of understanding the chronology of the past events and their interconnections. As you all know, history is about past events. So those who are doing historical research, they carry out with the objective of understanding the chronology of the past events and what is the connection between them. It's a continuous process. In historical research, it is not possible to use a method of laboratory experiments and observation as you do in science. But in historical research, it is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because during that time, we were not present, okay, in the historical time and space, and historical events cannot be recreated. Now, children, for example, in science, whatever the laws are proved, we can apply that even now. But in history, that is not the case because history is about the past events and events cannot be recreated. Okay, so historical research and writings, studies, what is the objective of doing that? Objective is to understand the chronology of past events and their interconnections. It is a continuous process, and in historical research it is not possible to carry out the experiments and observation. Why it is not possible? Because historical events, it cannot be recreated. Okay. Now, children, very important. When you study about history, when you are wanted to write about history, there are various disciplines which are helpful in historical research. For example, archaeology, epigraphy, archival science, linguistic, numismatics, genealogy. Now, children, archaeology, you all have learned that, for example, if you remember about Harappan civilization, okay, they used to study about all the past things, pottery, jewelry, all these type of things, right? Epigraphy is to study about the inscriptions, something which is written on the stone, okay, or carved something on the stone. Archival science, where all the old documents are kept. Then linguistic, study about the language part. Numismatics, study of coins, and genealogy is study of lineage. Okay, so these are the various disciplines which are helpful in historical research. It is very helpful for the historians, those who carry out historical research. Now, let us learn about traditional historiography. Children, the writing of critical historical narrative is known as historiography. This is very important. What is historiography? You should know that when you write about history, okay? So, writing of critical historical narrative is known as historiography. And a scholar who writes such a narrative is a historian, okay? So, you have to be very careful. This sometimes it comes in the exam as an objective question. The writing of critical historical narrative is known as historiography, and a scholar who writes such a narrative is historian. So, it can come as an objective type question, okay? Now, let us learn what is modern historiography and the characteristics of modern historiography. Now, children, about the characteristics of modern historiography. Modern historiography, its method is based on scientific principles. Now, for example, when in science you formulate some questions and try to find out the answers. Similarly, here also it begins with the formation of relevant questions, means it is also applying the scientific principles. These questions are anthropocentric, means these questions are about the deeds of the members of ancient human societies of a particular period. And history, it does not suggest any interrelation between divine and the human deeds. There is no relation between the divine and human deeds. So in this modern characteristics of historiography, the method is based on scientific principles only, as its result as it is leading to formation of relevant questions. These questions are anthropocentric, means the questions are about the deeds of the members of human societies of a particular period. And history, it does not suggest any interrelation between the divine and the human deeds. Now, answers to these questions are supported by relevant evidence. Whatever the answers are derived, they should be supported by evidence, that whatever is discovered, whatever answers we have got for our questions, they should have a proper evidence. History presents a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds. So what does history present? It is basically a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds. Children, history is originally a Greek term. Herodotus, the Greek historian of the 5th century BCE, used it for the first time in his book entitled The Histories. So history is originally a Greek term, and Herodotus, he was a Greek historian of the 5th century BCE. He had used this for his book entitled The Histories. Yes, have a look at the picture. Herodotus, the father of history. Okay. Now let us go to the next part. Development of scientific perspective in Europe and historiography. Prior to the 18th century, all European universities, they were interested in philosophical discourses revolving around divine phenomena. So children, prior to 18th century, all the European universities, they were interested in philosophical discourses, means to study about life, okay, revolving around the divine phenomena. However, gradually this scenario began to change. So in 1737 CE, the Göttingen University was founded in Germany, and this university had an independent department of history. Later, other German universities also became centers of historical studies. So previously, prior to 18th century, all the people were interested in the divine phenomena, that is the discourses talk about the life, okay, philosophical discourses revolving around divine phenomena. But then this scenario, it began to change. So in 1737 CE, the Göttingen University was founded in Germany, and this university had an independent department of history, and later on even other German universities also became center of historical studies. Now let us learn about the contribution of some notable scholars. Okay, they are very important in the development of historiography. Let us have a look at the contribution of the few notable scholars. Now first one is René Descartes, 1596 to 1650. Let us learn about René Descartes' contribution to historiography. Now children, René Descartes was the foremost among the scholars who insisted on verifying the reliability of documents by critically examining them. So whatever documents they get, it has to be checked properly. It has to be the reliability. They have to verify the reliability, whether it is reliable document or not. So he was the first among the scholars who insisted on verifying the reliability of documents. There should be critical examination of the documents. Very carefully it should be checked. Among the rules given by him in his book Discourse on the Method, the following is supposed to have a great impact on the scientific method of research. That is, never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubt are excluded. It is very important rule, okay? So Rene Descartes, he has given his rules in the book. Which is the book written by him? Discourse on the Method. Very important, children. The following rule, which is a rule which has a great impact on the scientific method of research: never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubt are excluded. Same way as you have in science, okay? When you want to prove anything, you have to check properly and then only it will be applicable, right? Similarly for history also, that never to accept, there should be logical reasoning, okay? Never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubt are excluded. Very important, given by Rene Descartes. Now Voltaire, 1694 to 1778. Now children, Voltaire's original name was Francois Marie Arouet. He was French. According to his opinion, what did he opine? That along with the objective truth and chronology of historical events, considering social traditions, trade, economy, agriculture, all these things are important in historiography. That definitely history is we search about the truth, about the chronology of historical events, but also social traditions, trade, economy, agriculture, all these should also be included in historiography. It gave rise to the thought that understanding all aspects of human life is important of writing history. So when we write history, it should include all these things, that is agriculture, economy, trade, social traditions, all these things also to be considered. So it gave rise to the thought that understanding all aspects of human life is important for writing history. Thus, it is said that Voltaire was a founder of modern historiography. This is very important question, children. It had appeared in the board examination twice. Voltaire was a founder of modern historiography. Explain. So, you have to write all the answers in points. Okay. Now, let us learn about next. George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, 1770 to 1831. Now, Hegel was a German philosopher. He insisted that his historical reality should be presented in a logical manner. So, what did he insist on? He insisted that reality, that is historical reality, should be presented in a logical manner. To him, timeline of historical events was indicative of progress. That over a period of time, gradually, we will definitely lead to progress. So, according to him, timeline of historical events was indicative of progress. He also thought that presentation of history is bound to change over time as new evidence would come forth. So it is possible, quite possible, that it will change because history is about the events, okay? So he thought that presentation of history is bound to change as new evidence can come forward. So Hegel was a German philosopher. And what did he insist on? That historical reality, it should be presented in a logical manner. And according to him, timeline of historical events was indicative of progress. And he also thought that presentation of history is bound to change as new evidence would come forth. Yes, the books written by him are Encyclopedia of Philosophical Sciences and Reason in History. Children, this also you can get as an objective type question, okay, in your exam. For example, it can come in write the following or name the following, okay. Then very important concept given by Hegel about dialectics. What is dialectics? Method of analysis based on opposites, okay. Very important question. That is, you have if you remember that we humans, okay, we have to study about the true and false, that is good and bad about the events, and then we have learned about the thesis, antithesis, synthesis, right? So what is dialectics? It is a method of analysis which is based on opposites. It is known as dialectics. This is very important concept given by Hegel. Okay, now let us learn about Leopold von Ranke, 1795 to 1886. Now children, historiography of 19th century was greatly influenced by the thoughts of Leopold von Ranke of Berlin University. He was of Berlin University. Now children, according to him, He stated that whatever documents which are related to historical events, it should be examined with utmost care. That is, even he spoke about the critical examination of the documents, and he criticized the imaginative writing of history, that you cannot imagine things and write about history. Okay, so he was the one who criticized about the imaginative writing of history. And collection of his articles is published in the books The Theory and Practice of History and The Secret of World History. Okay, so collection of his articles is published in The Theory and Practice of History and The Secret of World History. Okay, next let us learn about Karl Marx, 1818 to 1883. Okay, Karl Marx, very important children. His treatise Das Kapital is very very famous, and he was the one, he has wrote about the class struggle. If you remember, division of society which is based on haves and have nots. Okay, haves are one who have the means of production in their hands. Okay, they exploit the poor people, that is the peasants, farmers. Okay, so according to him, society is divided into haves and have nots. Okay, now according to him, human history is a history of class struggle, as a class that owns the means of production economically exploits the rest of the classes. That is, according to him, according to him, society is divided into two classes, that is haves and have nots. And haves are the ones who owns the means of production and they are exploiting the have nots, that is the peasants, farmers. Okay, so human history is a history of class struggle. So his theory of class struggle is very important. Okay, Das Kapital is a treatise written by Karl Marx. It is very very important, children. So according to him, human history is a history of class struggle, as a class that owns the means of production economically exploits the rest of the classes. Now let us learn about the next, that is feminist historiography. Now children, feminist historiography is basically writing history from the perspective of women. So here it drove historical research to focus in depth on various aspects of women's life, such as their employment, their family life, their role in trade union, institutions working for their cause, etc. And here, children, the role of Simone de Beauvoir is very important. She helped in establishing the fundamentals of feminism. She was a French. Okay, now Michel Foucault, 1926 to 1984. Now, children, he in his book Archaeology of Knowledge, he had argued that arranging historical events in chronological order is not right. He drew attention to the fact that archaeology does not strive to reach ultimate truth but attempts to explain various transitions in the past. That is, what changes have taken place in the past. So, Michel Foucault, he has written in his book Archaeology of Knowledge, what he had argued, that historical events which we arrange in chronological order is not right. Now, according to him, archaeology does not strive to reach ultimate truth, but it attempts to explain various transitions in the past. He called this method the archaeology of knowledge. Now, children, I hope the revision will be helpful for you. Now, children, in the examination, you can get such type of questions. Identify the incorrect pair. Okay, such type of questions you will get. You have to just click on the correct option. Now, your children, Karl Marx, Discourse on the Method. This is wrong. It was written by Rene Descartes. Okay, so you have to click on the incorrect pair. Read your head question properly. Okay, so such type of questions you can get in your exam. You can get multiple choice questions. Name the following, where you have to just click on the correct option, choose the correct option. Okay, so don't worry, this revision will be very very helpful for you for your to prepare for your upcoming examination. And children, if you want to have a detailed study, you have to watch the videos. I have given the link. Okay, this lesson was divided into 3 parts, children. So if you want to have a detailed explanation, if you want to study more in detail, you have to visit these links which I have given you for part 1. This is a YouTube link which is provided where you will get the detailed explanation. Part 2 YouTube link is provided to you, children, and part 3 link. So go and refer to these videos. Okay, study properly, revise thoroughly. You have to study properly because you can get the objectives from any nook and corner of your lesson. So children, this revision lecture is definitely going to be helpful for you. Plus you watch all these videos on the YouTube. Okay, thank you my dear students. Now we'll meet in the next class and revise the next lesson. Okay, thank you children.